on occasion.
Glittery?
Very glittery.
Yeah. I don't see how you came.
That's one of my patented bad segues. Now, what happened to
That was really a non sequitur.
No, I remember. I think I saw you. I saw you perform once. So you were very glittery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put glitter on.
Yeah. But what happened?
What?
Well, sometimes I strain for these segues, but that was.
Are you saying that I'm basically?
You might be a vampire.
Because the vampires from Twilight have glitter on.
Yes. See, Dave got it. Dave got it. Now, what happens?
That was a deep cut.
Yeah, yes. So it's not bad. So to speak. Yes.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But what happened to SpaceCream? What happened?
It was actually Dave was in SpaceCream for a minute.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
SpaceCream, it was great, and it completely changed the way that I write music and that I perform. So I'm really grateful for it.
Because the SpaceCream that I saw, the version were the three gentlemen that were considerably older than you.
No, there was one guy who was young. He was like a pretty boy.
Okay.
There was one gentleman who was a cross-dresser, and then there was my roommate who was considerably older than me and a really gifted songwriter, and great guitar player. And we were partners for years, and then that just things change.
Right.
We're still close, and then I had a bunch of young guys for a while, and then it just, as soon as that one started that iteration of it with the three young dudes who I still love.
Yeah. This guy, one of the young dudes.
Well, so there were three guys. There was Danny Hector, who's kind of a fixture in LA. He plays a ton of like the cover gigs, Sunset Jam, and he tours with a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
There was this guy, Zach Ryan, who I don't even know what Zach's doing now. He's a funny, he's a kooky bird. And then Saul, who now works in the gourmet food industry. He's actually kind of like a food connoisseur and a professional food connoisseur. Right. So there were the three of us, and it was great. And but it was just always my baby.
I was gonna say,
that's the thing.
I mean, what's the difference between that and this? I mean, you're the star.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's great to collaborate with people, and I still do. But I'm always like, I'm the lyricist. I always have the visual ideas, and I always I'm very Warholian about my music and my approach to art. Not in that I make shitty screen prints, but in that I have
you try to make it an experience.
I have a concept, and I want it to be really holistic.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's, unless you guys all went to like high school together and you all had the same thing, you're all like, I want to be in a glam band, which how many other people my age would ever want to do that? It's just not going to happen. So eventually just had to, every now and then it's like the universe does for you what you can't do for yourself. It's like, look, bitch, look. And eventually I just had to recognize that I was trying to force something that wasn't meant to happen. And I was really, really glad that I'd had those experiences, and that SpaceCream kind of just happened.
Right.
And so I'm really grateful for it. But then it just eventually became clear to me that it's just me.
Well, I Googled SpaceCream, but I didn't know there was actual real SpaceCream. But
what do you mean? Oh, you mean the weed?
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
That happened after the band, actually, and it is one of the reasons that I was very glad that I copyrighted the name.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but SpaceCream, the weed, is 2 words, and SpaceCream, the band,
so you don't get
one.
residuals.
I do not get residuals.
And I read something about you that I find hard to believe.
Okay.
In this school, did you go to reform school?
Yeah.
There's such a thing as reform school now?
Well, it was like
it sounds like a 1940s thing. Like, hey, Toots,
that's just the way that I phrased it to people, because it's a super simplistic thing that people can grasp. But yeah, it was a school for wayward teens.
Okay.
It's not like I was arrested and
You
sent
were.
there.
Oh, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Ah, no, I
Like,
wasn't.
I was getting Linda Blair visions. I didn't know what the hell you were.
No.
You were reform school. What the hell?
No, I was no, I mean I was sent away because I was a crazy kid.
Were you really?
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe.
Really?
No, I don't know. I didn't think you were that bad.
No, I mean I'm great now. I just now now I have creative outlets, so everything goes into that.
Okay, is that what it was?
So, but I as a kid I didn't have that, and I was super anxious and depressed, and I ran away all the time, and I've always been a fantasist, you know what I mean? My head was always in the clouds, and I was always kind of blending reality with, not in a schizophrenic way, but I was so wrapped up in narratives and stories that it was really hard for me to kind of get by as a traditional kid, and I was made fun of constantly. And so I was just really, really unhappy, and I fought with my parents all the time, and they never knew where I was.
Right.
And just like
I also, another thing that I found hard to believe, is that you don't have any vocal training.
That's true.
That you sang along with records, and that's how you develop your voice.
Yeah.
Dave, I've never heard anything like this. I mean, you study guitar.
Well, I don't think Freddie Mercury had any vocal training.
Some people just have it,
Yeah,
and
so
other people like me have to go to school to learn it.
Right. Did you go to school?
Yes.
Musicians Institute or?
No, I went to Berkeley in Boston.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Oh wow, so you know what you're doing.
I hope so.
Wolfberg shreds.
No, I'm sure, but I mean, you went to people that were studying to be vocalists.
Well, go on.
And then this is just a natural that sings along the records.
Yeah, of course. In any industry, I think, but music especially, there are people that come in and they just get it. They just have it, and they've heard the records, and they absorbed whatever they needed to absorb to just get the thing, whatever that metaphysical thing of being able to grab music out of thin air is. And yeah, she just has it. So that's something I always envied about her.
Right.
Aww.
Oh. What records were you singing to?
I grew up, I was really obsessed with Joni Mitchell as
Right.
a kid. That was probably my first love musically.
Right.
And just such a unique voice, and hitting those highs. And I could do that. I figured out how to do that. And then let's see, what else did I sing along to? I mean, the Beatles. I grew up with a lot of kind of run-of-the-mill.
Well, what I'm saying is,
rock and roll.
the stuff you were singing to didn't have the range of what you're
Well,
singing now.
Let's see. A lot of my favorites had crazy range. So Aretha.
Yeah. Okay.
Sly and the Family Stone.
All right.
Joni Mitchell, who definitely
Right.
has the fucking range.
Sure.
I mean, oof. I think those are my three main favorite vocalists. I mean, when I was a little kid, I was into stuff like Christina Aguilera.
Who wasn't?
Yeah, exactly. We used to do Genie in the Bottle videos on our.
The song that made me want to play guitar when I was 5 years old was Backstreet Boys' Larger Than Life. If you listen to that song, it has the most insane guitar solo you'll ever hear.
Really? Larger Than Life? I got to check that out.
No one ever realizes it because they maybe don't listen that far into the song. But after that bridge, it's one of the most burning solos ever. And
Really?
it made me want to pick up a guitar.
Yeah, it's like Van Halen playing on an MJ track.
Exactly.
People don't notice it, but you're like, fuck.
Well, people notice that. I mean, do you know who was playing on that one?
Yeah, that's Eddie Van Halen on Beat It.
No, I don't want to Beat It, but Backstreet Boys.
Actually, it took me a bunch of research to even find out who recorded it, but it was the famous songwriter that we all know and love is Max Martin, and he's written all of our favorite songs, by NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, and even up to Taylor Swift now.
Yeah.
And probably just some Swedish dude is the answer. It's like whoever his friend at the time was, who he could call and say, hey, come down and shred on this track. But maybe I'm wrong. If you're out there, hit me up.
I'm gonna research this.
The girl with the dragon.
Who played guitar on the
Ninja.
Yeah, who played guitar on Larger Than Life? Yeah, maybe who knows? Maybe
Max fucking Martin.
like Yngwie Malmsteen or somebody. Who knows?
Well, right.
Who knows? Anyway.
I have a lyric about Max Martin in one of the songs.